The Nintendo Switch is shaping up to be one of the greatest consoles we've seen in decades, and it's clear that Nintendo is really pulling out all the stops on this one. In its first year, the Nintendo Switch outed giant IPs such as Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, and Xenoblade Chronicles, setting out the groundwork for the biggest and most iconic Nintendo series. Following up, we received other giant brands such as Kirby, Mario Tennis, Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go, and of course Super Smash Bros., spreading out the diversity of content while still sticking to some big names. Not to mention many series being carried over through ports, expanding the library further with names such as Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country, and Bayonetta. And with upcoming games like Metroid Prime 4, Animal Crossing, a mainline Pokemon game, and Luigi's Mansion 3 all being in the works, it sounds like 2019 is being prepped to be just as good as the previous year has been for Nintendo fans. But what's next? We know some of the games Nintendo is working on, but there's still plenty of hidden series that have yet to be fully utilized on the new console. Whether these IPs are simply being kept under wraps for a nearby announcement for 2019, or won't be in the works until 2020, here are the forgotten series waiting to appear on Nintendo Switch. Number 1, Kid Icarus. When Masahiro Sakurai isn't working himself on creating a new installment for his beloved pink puffball OC, or working himself down to the bone to represent the entirety of the gaming industry, the guy will be directing a fairly niche video game called Kid Icarus. Set in a loose form of Greek mythology, we follow the trials and wars of angels, goddesses, and denizens of the underworld. And though the series itself may not be too crazy well known, their prevalence in Super Smash Bros. Certainly is, as the main protagonist has been making an appearance since 2008 in the form of Pit, the slashy-dashy angel wimp with an iconic Hiya! And later being accompanied by the goddess of light Palutena, who grants him his wings, and Dark Pit, everyone's favourite.
Bye-bye!
Now, the Kid Icarus series hasn't had a new installment since 2012, 6 years ago on the 3DS, but with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate soon to be off of Sakurai's shoulders, maybe a new game will be developing soon.
Yeah, right.
Oh, is this my chance to have some kind of inanimate object partner guy? I mean, he's a knockoff Toad instead of a full amiibo, but it's better than nothing.
Well, go on, say something. Number 2, Punch-Out! Punch-Out is one of the most archaic Nintendo properties, reigning from the arcade era of the 80s and having a slow yet steady re-release across the last few decades. Re-releasing on the Game & Watch, NES, SNES, and Wii. Not to mention the appearance of the protagonist being represented in Smash once again in the form of Little Mac on the Wii U and 3DS version from 2014. Altogether, it means that Punch-Out isn't quite dead yet. And with the little guy having the biggest spotlight on him right now, there's a good chance that there is more to come for the little guy. The most recent game even incorporating an Easter egg final character with Donkey Kong, so the potential of involving other characters or presenting the game in a much more Nintendo-entwined format is very possible. Not to mention, having gameplay focused around small one-on-one matches seems like a perfect formula for the portable aspect of the Switch. Crossed over with the career layout designed for console play, and I don't really think there's anything particularly holding it back.
Got anything to say about this one? Am I trying too hard?
Number 3, Mario and Luigi. We've seen Mario in all sorts of forms in the past: 2D, 3D, kart, golf, tennis, party, hotel, and sometimes not at all, I guess. But one of the fan-favourite designs for Mario games are the ones with Luigi right by his side. It boasts both a highly detailed Mario RPG with unique gameplay and battle mechanics, as well as shows Luigi actually able to do something for himself. Kinda. The Mario and Luigi series is one that started on the Game Boy Advance way back in 2003 with Superstar Saga. Since then, we've had a new installment after just 2 years, 4 years, 4 years, 2 years, and I guess 4 years again lines up perfectly with 2019. Not to mention the fact that the series is still very much in the limelight, as they're now being remade into the style of the newer games. Now, of course, these games have stayed consistently on Nintendo's mobile devices, and Nintendo doesn't seem to want to give up the 3DS just yet, for some reason. But perhaps with a little more time, or some kind of crossover 3DS Switch game, we may finally see the brothers hand in hand on the big screen.
Not gonna speak? Fine. I'll just do it myself, yeah? Like I've been doing it the last 6 years.
Number 4, Rhythm Heaven. Rhythm Heaven is a fairly new series with a pretty small library to its name. It started in 2006 as a Game Boy Advance game called Rhythm Heaven Tengoku, but was never released outside of Japan. It wasn't until 2009 when the sequel Rhythm Heaven for the DS finally reached the Western world and revealed its 2D, thick outline, simplistic rhythm-based gameplay across the globe. The series then branched onto the console world 3 years later with Rhythm Heaven Fever for the Wii, utilizing only 2 controls, the A button and the A and B button.
This is some intense stuff.
Exposing to a much wider audience the charm and mechanics of this wild and wacky beatsy world. Now, it never made sense to me why the PAL version of the game is called Beat the Beat Rhythm Paradise. And in its latest game, Rhythm Heaven Megamix, or Rhythm Paradise Megamix in the PAL version, or Rhythm Heaven The Best Plus in Japan and Korea, why are there so many different names? The series hopped back onto the 3DS and recreated the best bits of the previous games, with 7 returning games and 100 in total. This last game is also the first to have a full-on plot, basically having you guide this little guy back home through the various rhythm games, though it gets pretty weird. Regardless, this last game came out in 2016, so give it another 3 to 4 years, i.e. pretty darn soon, and we may very well have even more beats to play with. The gameplay formula also works great for the Nintendo Switch, and who knows what other wacky stories the creators wish to tell in this perfect, or just okay, world. Number 5, Mario Sports. Okay, so I know we just got Mario Tennis Aces, but this game very much proves that Mario Sports games haven't been forgotten on the old Switch. And Mario's built quite the athletic arsenal over the years. We've got Mario Golf, Mario Sluggers, Mario Strikers, Dance Dance Revolution, yes that is a real thing, Mario Hoops, Mario Sports Mix, hey, isn't that just a bunch of the previous sports combined into one? Mario Sports Superstars, which is even more of the same. Yeah, okay, so there's clearly a lot of competition for what could be the next Mario Sports game, and each one have their own benefits and popularity, some being very up-to-date recent 3DS games, and some being left in the dirt to die for being far too good for this world. No, I'm not talking about the one with Waluigi as a villain. Okay, maybe a little, I love that game as a kid. Regardless, there's loads of options for this genre of Mario games, and you can't deny that once again, sports works great on the Switch. Throw in some online content that we're all already forced to pay for anyway, and hey ho, you may have a new Mario in a new refreshing light. I leave the arguing over which sports game should take that slot over to you guys, but in all honesty, the sports game better come soon, because if we breach into 2020, you know what slot will overpower all the others.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games!
Number 6, a new F-Zero. Like that's ever gonna happen.
Am I right, guys?
Number 7, a new Chibi Robo.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Or maybe just a re-release of the first game for new audiences, maybe?
Nope. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ziplash was just a last-ditch effort to cling onto a trend to force sales, and by saying that Chibi's dead if the game doesn't sell well was actually just another ploy by the developers to push sales onto their game, whilst never intending to actually make another Chibi Robo game despite everyone and their mother knowing what would make a good Chibi Robo game. I was doomed from the start.
Oh.
Number 8, a new mainline Pikmin. Number 9, Paper Mario. Yeah, I've discussed this a lot on the channel, but it's true it's got a lot of potential on the Switch, much like everything else. The latest installment only came out 2 years ago on the Wii U, but considering there's about a 4-year gap between games, it's very much a possibility that the next one's closer than we thought. Especially since, come on, it came out on the Wii U. Nintendo's been trying to compensate for that loss pretty much the moment the Switch was announced. I wouldn't be surprised if a new Paper Mario is already half done with how much teams are scrambling to release their series on the Switch. Any kind of new Paper Mario content would be good to me. I just want to finally get my hands on a Paper Mario amiibo.
Yeah.
Number 10, WarioWare. WarioWare seems pretty firmly to be a portable-only game. It's made its appearances on the Wii and Wii U, sure, but they don't seem to be too outstanding. Of course, I could be wrong, but WarioWare Gold came out earlier this year for the 3DS. And unless production of a console game has already been in the works, I'm doubtful if we'll ever see a Wario game on the Switch. Or at the very least, it'll be the last major franchise Nintendo will ever expose to the hybrid console. Wario's got his spotlight in Smash, and though you could argue that the portable aspect makes perfect sense for the next Game & Wario or whatever, I couldn't help but get the feeling that WarioWare is gonna be the figurehead of the 3DS as it stubbornly refuses to die. It's certainly one of Nintendo's forgotten console series, and I'll be genuinely surprised if we see it on our home TVs anytime soon. And that just about covers our list of major Nintendo properties yet to exist on the Switch. If Super Mario Maker had more to it, or some kind of twist, I feel like that could also have a possibility as a new installment, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. If there's one thing for certain, a series we will unfortunately never see on the Switch, as it's been long forgotten as a series with full games to play, it's Mother. The hopes and dreams for a Mother 3 release are simply not gonna happen. Perhaps more re-releases of Earthbound could make an appearance in some form, but I'm doubtful.
Across all the series we mentioned today, I'm pretty sure this one is absolutely forgotten. I don't expect to see any kind of new installment or really any redos of the older ones, unless we get some kind of virtual console that doesn't seem to be the Switch's approach anyway, and the fact that the director said he doesn't want to make another game makes me think the series will only live on through Super Smash Bros. And otherwise will just be nostalgic for the good old days. That's really all there is to it.
Setting out the groundwork, spreading out the diversity of content, forgotten down to the bone, video game quite dead, yet left in the dirt to die, forgotten to compensate for that refuses to die.
It's you! I mean, yeah, we're on bad times, but that's just because there hasn't been a Pikmin 4. Well, yeah, but I thought I wasn't doing too badly recently. I know, that's why I'm trying to make broader content at the moment. Surely, if I just keep working harder, then I'll just be able to get through this. So what do you expect me to do? Thanks for the advice, I guess. Right. I guess I better start a bucket list.
Thank you for watching. If you'd like to watch more content of mine, they'll be on screen now. I've also got a Twitch page where I recently played through the first chapter of Deltarune, so give it a look, and let me know of anything else you'd like me to cover. As for now, my name's been Daz. You didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.
Bye bye.